All right, let's be honest. If you're a student, or really anyone who has to learn online, you face that mountain of video lectures and ask yourself that one critical question. Can I just speed this up? We all want to know if faster is actually better. Well, today, we're going to find the real answer. So here's the big question, right? Is cranking your lectures up to double speed a genius-level study hack that saves you hours of your life? Or is it a learning trap where you feel super productive but you're not actually retaining anything? It's a huge debate, but we're going to settle it today with cold, hard data.
First off, let's just acknowledge this need for speed. I mean, we are all drowning in information. And if you're a student, my gosh, the pressure to get through a massive amount of material is constant. You're always looking for an edge, any way to manage your time better.
And the number one strategy? Hitting that fast-forward button. The logic seems flawless, doesn't it? It's a simple way to power through tons of content in a fraction of the time. It feels so productive, it feels so smart, but is it actually effective? That's the exact assumption we're here to put to the test.
So to get a real, solid answer, we can't just go off of what feels right. We have to look at the science. And that's precisely what our source for this explainer did. They ran what you could basically call the ultimate experiment on this very topic.
The researchers used this incredibly powerful tool called a meta-analysis. Now, what in the world is that? Honestly, this analogy is perfect. Think of it as the all-star game of research. Instead of doing one more study, scientists gather up all the best existing studies on a topic, and then they combine all of their results. This gives us one super reliable conclusion that is way more powerful than any single study could ever be.
The specific paper we're pulling from today is a huge meta-analysis that was just recently published in the Educational Psychology Review. So that means we are looking at the most up-to-date, the most comprehensive answer that science can give us right now.
And when I say comprehensive, I really mean it. We're not talking about just one or two papers here. The researchers went out and systematically analyzed 24 separate, high-quality studies, all on this one topic.
And get this, from those 24 studies, they combined a whopping 110 different effect sizes. An effect size is just the scientific way of measuring how strong the connection is between two things. In this case, video speed and learning. So the verdict you're about to hear isn't just one opinion. It's the combined power of a massive body of evidence. Okay, so the moment of truth. After all that analysis, what did they find? This brings us right to the core takeaway of this explainer. There is a very real learning speed limit, a point where cranking up that dial really starts to hurt you.
So the key is right here in this quote from the study itself. The authors say that yes, increasing playback speed can hurt your test scores, but, and this is the really important part, this cost is small and often non-significant for speeds 1.5x and slower. That is our first major clue.
And this chart just makes it crystal clear. So, look at the bar on the left. That's your performance at normal 1x speed. That's your baseline. Now, let's slide over to 1.5x speed. See how the bar dips a little? It's a small cost, sometimes not even a big deal, just like the study said. But now, look what happens when you jump all the way to 2x speed. Whoa, that is a significant drop. The cost to your performance is suddenly huge. There's a clear tipping point. So let's just boil this all down into one simple, clear verdict. You can pretty safely speed up your lectures to 1.5x with very, very little impact on your test scores. But the moment you push past that 1.5x mark, the cost to what you actually learn and remember gets much, much higher. That is your new rule of thumb. But the researchers didn't just stop there. They also wanted to know what doesn't matter. You know, are there certain situations where it's fine to speed watch and others where it's a terrible idea? And the answers were actually pretty surprising. Okay, this is what I find fascinating. It turns out the negative hit from going too fast wasn't really changed by the kind of test you took. Multiple choice, short answer, didn't matter. It also wasn't affected by how long the lecture was, or even if you had the ability to pause and rewind. The subject matter mostly didn't matter either. Now, there's a little note here that they saw a small effect from math, but they think that's probably just because there wasn't a lot of data on math lectures. The big takeaway, that 1.5x speed limit seems to be true almost all the time. So what do we do with all this? How can we turn this science into an actual smarter study hack? Let's break it down into a simple strategy you can use tonight. Here you go, a simple 3-step plan. Step 1 is the 1.5x rule. Make that your default setting for most of your lectures. Step 2, know when to slow down. If you're hitting a really complex topic or something that's brand new to you, just drop it back to normal, 1x speed. Play it safe. And step 3, and this is the most important part, reinvest your time. Don't just use the time you saved to cram in another video. Use that extra 15 or 20 minutes to actively review what you just learned. That's how this becomes a real learning accelerator.
And that really brings us to our final thought. This research doesn't just give you a new trick, it gives you the gift of time. So the real question is, now that you know how to learn more efficiently, what are you going to do with all that time you just saved?